Have you ever felt the sting of being ignored, like you're shouting into the void, but the person you care about doesn't even turn around? It's a feeling that can cut deeper than words, a silence that screams louder than any insult. In this video, we'll uncover the cold, hard truth behind why someone ignores you. Because when they act like you don't exist, there's always a reason. And by the end of this video, you'll understand it all. But first, if you're ready to stop second-guessing yourself and take control of your life, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Your journey to clarity starts here. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Being ignored isn't just about you, it's about them. Let's dive into the only real reasons why someone ignores you, starting with the harshest truth of all. 1. They're testing your worth. Have you ever found yourself waiting for someone to respond to you? Watching as the minutes turn into hours and the silence feels heavier with each passing second. You tell yourself, maybe they're just busy, or maybe they didn't see my message. But deep down, you know the truth. They're ignoring you on purpose. And here's the cold, hard reality. They're testing you. Yes, some people will intentionally ignore you, not because they're too busy or distracted, but because they want to see how far you'll go to gain their attention. They want to measure your worth by how much you're willing to chase after them. This isn't love, this isn't care, and it's certainly not respect. It's a game of manipulation. They want to hold the power in the relationship, and the more you give in, the more you beg, call, or double text, the more power you hand over to them. Think about this for a moment. Why should your worth be something anyone has to test? Why should your time, your emotions, and your effort be treated like something they can toy with just to feed their ego? You deserve better than that. Yet so many of us fall into this trap. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, if we just prove how much we care, then they'll finally see our value. But let me tell you something. They already see it. They see it clearly. That's why they're testing you in the first place. And here's where you flip the script. Instead of running after them, instead of begging for scraps of their attention, you stand firm. Your worth isn't something anyone gets to test. It's not something you need to prove. It's something that demands to be recognized without games, without manipulation, and without conditions. When you refuse to play their game, you take back your power. You show them, and more importantly, yourself, that your value doesn't depend on their approval. So, the next time someone tries to test your worth by ignoring you, remember this. You don't have to pass their test. In fact, you shouldn't even take it. Because the people who truly care about you, the ones who truly value you, will never make you question your importance in their lives. They'll never use silence as a weapon or as a way to manipulate you. They'll treat you with the respect and love you deserve. Let them wonder why you stopped chasing. Let them realize that their test didn't break you. It set you free. Because your worth isn't up for debate. It's something they either recognize or lose. And trust me, losing you is their mistake, not yours. 2. They're hiding something. Have you ever felt like someone is ignoring you, not because they're busy, but because they're hiding something? Maybe you've noticed the subtle shifts, their sudden reluctance to answer your calls, the way they avoid meeting your eyes, or how they make excuses to cut conversations short. It feels off, doesn't it? Like there's something lurking beneath the surface that they don't want you to see. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Silence can be a shield. When someone is ignoring you, it's often because they're trying to deflect attention away from something they don't want you to uncover. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe they've done something they know will hurt you if you find out. Or maybe they're hiding a part of their life they don't want you to see. Either way, their silence isn't just about avoiding you, it's about protecting themselves. They hope their silence will make you stop asking questions, that it'll create enough distance to keep you in the dark. But let me tell you something, ignoring someone doesn't erase the truth. It only delays the inevitable. And when someone chooses silence over honesty, it says more about them than it ever will about you. So, what do you do when someone's ignoring you to hide something? Do you let their silence control you? Do you sit there wondering and doubting yourself? You confront it, but not with anger, not with desperation. You confront it with calmness and clarity. Because when you approach the situation with composure, you take away their ability to twist the narrative. You force them to face the reality they're trying so hard to avoid. But here's the part that makes this extreme. When you confront them, be prepared for the truth. It might hurt, it might shake you to your core, and it might be the answer you were hoping wasn't true. But no matter what you discover, remember this: the truth, no matter how painful, will always set you free. Because living in ignorance, waiting for scraps of honesty, is no way to live. Don't settle for silence. Seek the truth. Their silence isn't your burden to carry. It's their guilt, their fear, and their choice to avoid accountability. But you deserve honesty. You deserve clarity. And you deserve relationships where silence isn't used as a weapon or a mask. So, if someone is ignoring you to hide something, don't let their silence intimidate you. Confront it with strength and calmness. And if the truth you uncover forces you to walk away, know this: leaving a dishonest person behind is never a loss. It's a step toward a life where silence is replaced by respect, honesty, and genuine connection. Don't settle for the smokescreen. Dig deeper, stand taller, and remember, your peace is worth far more than their secrets. 3. They've lost interest. There's a moment in every relationship, be it romantic, friendship, or even family, when things start to feel different. The calls become less frequent. The replies come slower. The conversations that once flowed effortlessly now feel forced, strained, or one-sided. And then it hits you. Maybe they're losing interest. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, isn't it? That someone who once seemed so invested in you, who once cared so deeply, could start to pull away. But here's the harsh reality. It happens. People lose interest, and instead of facing it like adults, some choose the coward's path. They don't tell you outright. They don't have the decency to be honest. Instead, they pull back, little by little, hoping you'll get the message without them having to say it. And that's where the pain truly lies. It's not just the loss of connection that hurts. It's the way they make you question yourself. You start asking, what did I do wrong? Was I too much? Did I miss the signs? But let me tell you something. Their silence says more about them than it ever will about you. Because here's the truth no one tells you. If someone can't respect you enough to be honest about their feelings, they don't deserve your energy. Losing interest in someone is human. It happens. But what defines a person's character is how they handle it. Ghosting you, ignoring you, and hoping you'll figure it out on your own isn't just disrespectful. It's weak. Your worth doesn't decrease when someone loses interest. So, what do you do when this happens? How do you respond when someone's silence screams, "I don't care anymore"? You walk away, not in anger, not in desperation, but with dignity. Because if they've lost interest in you, then they've also lost the privilege of being in your life. It's not your job to chase after someone who's already made the decision to leave. It's not your job to fix a connection that only one of you is willing to fight for. And it's certainly not your job to stay in a relationship where silence replaces communication and neglect replaces love. Letting go is hard. It hurts. But it's also liberating. When you let go of someone who's lost interest in you, you make room for people who genuinely care. People who won't leave you guessing. People who will fight for you just as much as you fight for them. Respect yourself enough to walk away. So, The next time someone's silence makes you feel unworthy, remember this: their inability to value you isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their inability to handle their own emotions. Don't wait for their honesty. Find your own strength and walk away knowing that you deserve so much more than someone who couldn't even say goodbye. Respect yourself, love yourself, and never ever settle for someone who can't see your value. Because the right people, they'll never make you question it. 4. They're dealing with their own storms. Picture this. You've sent a message to someone, maybe even called them, and all you're met with is silence. Days go by and there's no response. Your mind starts racing. Did I do something wrong? Are they upset with me? Have they stopped caring? But here's a truth we often overlook. Not every silence is about you. Sometimes the person ignoring you isn't trying to hurt you or push you away. Sometimes they're dealing with a storm you can't see. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, painful ones, a family crisis, overwhelming stress, mental health struggles, or feelings they don't even know how to put into words. And in those moments, their silence isn't rejection, it's self-preservation. Think about this. When you're in the middle of your own struggles, do you always have the energy to respond to every call, every message, or every question? Sometimes, when life gets heavy, even the simplest interactions can feel like too much. It doesn't mean you don't care about the people reaching out. It just means you're trying to survive your own battles first. So, what do you do when someone's silence feels like it's breaking you? Do you assume the worst? Do you bombard them with questions and accusations? Or do you pause, take a step back, and consider that their distance might not be about you at all? Because here's the thing, compassion is powerful, and sometimes the best thing you can give someone who's pulling away is space. This doesn't mean you ignore your own feelings. It's okay to feel hurt or confused. But before jumping to conclusions, remind yourself that everyone is fighting battles you can't see. Instead of demanding explanations, offer understanding. Instead of assuming the worst, remind them that you're there when they're ready. Compassion can bridge the gap where silence cannot. But here's where it becomes extreme. While you offer space, don't let yourself get lost in the process. Their silence is theirs to navigate, but your peace is yours to protect. Be there for them without losing yourself, because being compassionate doesn't mean you let someone's distance define your worth. It means you care enough to step back and give them the room they need. Here's the truth. Silence isn't always an end. Sometimes it's a pause, and in that pause lies an opportunity to strengthen your bond, not through force, but through understanding. Relationships aren't just built on constant communication, they're built on the grace to endure the quiet moments too. So the next time someone's silence makes you feel forgotten, remember, they might be fighting battles you know nothing about. Offer them patience, show them understanding, and when the storm passes, you'll be there, stronger for having weathered it with grace. Because true connection isn't about always being heard, it's about always being there, even in the silence. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is let them find their way back to you, and when they do, you'll know your understanding was never in vain. 5. They don't respect you. Let me hit you with the hardest truth of all. Sometimes people ignore you not because of anything you did or didn't do, not because of any mistake on your part, but because they simply don't respect you. Their silence isn't about your worth or your value. It's a reflection of their lack of regard for you as a person. And that, my friend, is one of the coldest reasons for being ignored. It's brutal to accept, but think about it. When someone ignores you, they're telling you something loud and clear. Your time, your energy, your presence doesn't matter to them. And while this might sting, it's not about you. It's about them. It's about their inability to appreciate you for who you are and the value you bring to their life. It's about their lack of basic respect. How many times have you tried to reach out to someone only to be met with indifference or silence? How many times have you made an effort to connect, to show you care, only to be met with a cold shoulder? And with every ignored message, every avoided phone call, you start to wonder, am I not worth their time? Am I not worth their respect? Here's the painful truth. Yes, you do deserve better. And if someone can't see that, if someone can't recognize your worth enough to show you basic respect, then it's time to reevaluate their place in your life. You don't need to beg for someone's attention or validation. You don't need to chase after them, wondering why they don't respect you. If they can't value you enough to give you the courtesy of their time or their words, then it's time to let them go. Your value isn't determined by how they treat you. It's determined by how you treat yourself and who you allow into your life. So, what do you do when someone repeatedly disrespects you with their silence? Cut them out. It's as simple as that. Stop wasting your time and energy on people who don't even see your worth. You are not meant to be the one constantly proving yourself to someone who can't even bother to show you basic decency. Don't let their disregard define you. Focus on people who recognize your value, people who respect you, who appreciate your presence, and who make you feel seen, heard, and valued. Real respect is mutual. It's not something you should have to chase after. It's something you should demand by setting boundaries and walking away from those who are too blind to see your worth. Never settle for being someone's afterthought. Your time, your love, your energy is precious. And if someone can't respect that, then they don't deserve any part of you. So walk away. Let them stay in their indifference while you move forward, stronger and more focused on those who treat you with the respect you deserve. Because when you stop tolerating disrespect, you open up space for people who will appreciate you for who you are, and that is where your power lies. People who respect you will never leave you questioning your worth. Remember that. Walk away with your dignity intact and your head held high. If this video helped you see things clearer, smash that like button and subscribe for more powerful insights like this. And remember, your silence, when chosen wisely, can be louder than words. Thank you for watching.